Welcome to the Angelo method. You have taken a very important step towards reducing inflammation throughout your body. You are about to learn the skills that you will need to slow the pace of aging and not only to live a long life, but to live a long and strong life. So, I'm glad you're here, and I'm guessing you've tried to address diabetes, weight, blood pressure, cholesterol, and have not been successful. That's okay, you're not alone. Most of our participants have tried 5 to 7 diets without success. And it's not your fault, you just haven't been on the correct program. We are being tempted with unhealthy choices on a daily basis. Secondly, none of the diets or programs or techniques you've tried before actually addressed the root cause, the real reason for poor health and weight gain. TAM offers a new path forward. Before we get started though, I'd like to share a little bit about my own struggles with health. When I was 40 years old, I weighed 145 pounds. Now fast forward 20 years. I was 50 pounds heavier. I weighed 195 pounds. My waist was 41 inches. I was dealing with diabetes, high blood pressure, and cholesterol. My declining health snuck up on me. The weight gain was gradual, 2 or 3 pounds each year, which is a similar occurrence for most of TAM participants. I was on the same road as my father. He passed away of complications from diabetes, and I was there, following in his footsteps. I didn't want that for my family or myself, so I knew I had to make changes. I tried biking, walking, running, going to the gym, multiple diets, just about everything. Nothing worked, nothing. I lost weight with each effort, but as soon as I reached my goal, I headed straight back up, and many times I gained the weight back plus a few pounds. So what did I do? I researched. I read hundreds of books and pored over stacks of scientific research papers. I applied what I had learned as a chairman of a national wellness company where I spent over 2 decades studying thousands of organizations, all their health data, and their yearly increase in diabetes, chronic disease, and depression. Everything was like a hockey stick. It was heading upward rapidly. And I was lucky enough to connect some of these very important dots that we'll be sharing with you later in the program. I uncovered some very important truths and restored my health and gave me a much different outlook on life. So remember, I was 195 pounds with a 41-inch waist. And today, I'm 160 pounds with a 34-inch waist. That's a 7-inch loss around my waistline. More importantly, no diabetes to manage and no high blood pressure or cholesterol to worry about. I've taken years of learning and best practices, and I've organized them into this series of lessons. I want you to have the same success I've enjoyed, as well as thousands of TAM participants. I want to help you accomplish the goals you have for your long-term health and your happiness. I want to help you go beyond where you are right now, to be the true you, both physically as well as mentally. Let's begin with starting to understand the philosophy of TAM. This is not a diet, it's not even a lifestyle. TAM is a way of life. We have a unique way of looking at diabetes, weight loss, and chronic disease. And we will teach you the critical skills that you need for lifelong success, all personalized for your weight, height, level of activity, what conditions you have, and what medications you are now taking. I believe we are looking at diabetes and weight loss, obesity, and other chronic diseases the wrong way. We are misdiagnosing the problem as overeating and not getting enough exercise. If we continue to treat the wrong problem, we will continue to fail. The proper diagnosis is the addiction to processed sugars and excess carbohydrates, which we will now call sugarbs for short, causes us to overeat and not feel like exercising. That's the key to why we're successful and other methods are not. When we focus on lessening this addiction to sugarbs in order to reduce inflammation, we discovered not only the skills necessary to reverse disease, but also to maintain a healthy state long term. When we say inflammation, we're not talking about anti-inflammatory or pro-inflammatory foods, but the inflammation caused by the expanding fat cells around our waist. When that causes fat to be deposited in and around every organ, the kidneys, the liver, the lungs, the pancreas. Also, poor eating habits create more bad bacteria versus good bacteria in your gut, which is another source of inflammation. This inflammation is destructive to our bodies, and it flows through our bloodstream 24/7. It reduces our mental clarity, our energy. It causes impatience, mood swings, depression. With TAM, weight is not our priority. Losing weight is a byproduct and will occur, but losing inches around the waist is the most important because that reduces the inflammation around the waist, around and inside our liver, pancreas, kidneys, intestines, along with the inflammation in the brain. Well, what happens when you have processed sugar and excess carbs? Here, your sugar and carbohydrate receptor is calling for more sugarbs. As soon as you eat it, the receptor site is filled. You're happy. You're satisfied. You feel great. But what happens an hour or 2 hours later? That receptor site starts to fall off. The sugar comes off, the carbs come off, right? And the sugar and carbohydrate that filled the receptor is now flaking off, and the initial dopamine high has worn off. With TAM, we fill the sugar receptor site by using natural sugar and meals of your choice as a replacement for processed sugar and excess carbs. We keep the receptor site satisfied throughout the entire day, and as a result, no more sugar cravings, no more roller coaster, and no more days adding inflammation. With the sugar roller coaster, our receptor sites constantly being filled and emptied, leading to the constant cravings for sugarbs. Because our participants are in that zone all day, we decrease our addiction, we decrease inflammation, and we're in control now of our body and our brain. What makes us so unique? TAM greatly reduces the addiction to sugarbs while you're still eating sugar and carbs every day. You will greatly lessen that addiction and its negative impacts without having to practice abstinence. You will eat sugar and carbs each day and melt inflammation on the way to a healthy and resilient life.